After two postponements, the 2+2 dialogue between India and the United States of America is finally set to take place. There are two sticking points, two issues that will come up during this meeting. One is buying the S-400s from Russia, and the other is about buying oil from Iran. Both countries that are seen as America's rivals. Now, sources are telling Wion that India will not back down when it comes to Iran. When Mike Pompeo and James Mattis meet their Indian counterparts, India is likely to convey to them that Iran is a major partner as far as India is concerned. And while India does not want Iran to become a nuclear state, India should be given access to civilian nuclear energy. We have Wion correspondent Siddhant Sibal now joining us live from New Delhi for the latest on that front. Siddhant, talk to us. What is the latest you're hearing on this front?
Well, just 2 days before the 2+2 dialogue, we had a conversation with sources in the South Bloc just before that big meeting. It's the highest political level meet between the Americans and the Indians, and it's happening here in New Delhi. And as you've already told us that it has been postponed twice, and two key sticking point will be one on Russia, one on Iran. We know that on Iran, the basic issue is that India is going to tell the Americans that India needs Iranian oil because India is a growing economy. It needs a lot of oil. And another will be Chabar. Chabar is an important element of its foreign policy. It is India's answer to Gwadar and part of the China-Pakistan economic corridor. And of course, the Afghans are also expected to tell the Americans that Chabar is important for its own development needs. And that is why India is going to talk tough on both the issues, on Iran and second, of course, on Russia, because India is going to buy a lot of, buy S-400 from the Russians, and that is a key sticking point because India can come under sanctions because it's dealing with Russia. Though the problem is not India's making, but of course India will be incidentally impacted by this by the sanction which the American Senate has approved.
Right, Siddhant, this 2+2 dialogue is a crucial part of, the overall big picture bilateral ties between India and the US because this will be about security and cooperation, but at the same time about the alignment that these two, the oldest and the biggest democracies, the way they align themselves in the context of the current geopolitics.
Well, of course, it's the highest level political dialogue between India and the US. It has been postponed twice, and the entire format was decided during the Indian Prime Minister's visit to America. And of course, there will be concerns and areas of convergences. Of course, areas of convergences are evident. It's Indo-Pacific, it's China, it's Afghanistan, it's Pakistan. India would like to hear what Secretary Pompeo had his conversation with his counterparts in Islamabad, because Secretary Pompeo is coming from Islamabad to New Delhi, and he comes late evening tomorrow. That, of course, will be an important development. But other than that, on Afghanistan, both share the same view. On Indo-Pacific, which extends from the west coast of India to the west coast of America, both are trying to develop this concept. Both are the bookends of this concept. But the key issues remain issues such as Iran, issues such as Russia, and issues such as trade, issues such as H1B1, immigration issue. These are going to be talked about. There will be frank discussion on all these issues, and both sides will convey their issues. And we do expect flexibility from both the sides, because it's finally the ability to agree to disagree without creating a ruckus. That is diplomacy all about.
Absolutely. Siddhant Sibal, Wion correspondent, joining us live with those breaking news updates from India's capital, New Delhi. Thank you, Siddhant.